Born, raised, and living in Tehran, Iran. You're 27 years old, living with your mom. You're a woman. You are trying to figure out what to do with your life. And your home is the backdrop where all these kinds of things are happening. You've got your kitten, you've got your plants, but you also have limited internet access due to the way the government functions. What is it like to live in this kind of life? This is one of my favorite conversations I've ever had. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome. This is Home Life for Extraordinary Impact. On this show, you'll get to witness raw, in-the-moment research that I'm doing with experts and everyday people all around the world. What am I researching? One central question: how do you design your home life for growth, connection, and contribution? On the show, we'll do research, and you can follow along with my analysis and findings on Home Life Design Lab newsletter, which I'll tell you more about at the end of this episode, and you can subscribe and follow along. I'm Matt Barrios. I'm a husband, a dad, a writer, and a researcher, and I'll be your host today as we explore what it looks like to create a home life that you love. We're going to hear from my guest today, which is a person I'm very excited to talk about. In a moment, she's going to introduce herself. But first, I want to say thank you for being part of this show. Big, gratitude to Polywork for connecting us across the planet. And I'm very excited to talk to somebody who is based in Iran. And so, Melika, pleasure to meet you and kind of meet face to face, like a world away from each other. So tell me and our listeners just a little bit about yourself.
Okay, hello to you and your listeners. I'm Melika, and I'm so excited to start this podcast. And yeah, I live in Tehran. So what do you like to know more?
What is a day in the life of Melika like?
Oh, well, I have recently, changed my job to freelancing, which is really exciting for me because, I was working in a shipping company and I was always stressed and I had a lot of work to do, but that's not the lifestyle that I really like. So I changed it, and I mostly translate or do some, started to podcast via Polywork. And I'm so really excited to meet you too. Right here, you're the first one that I interview. And yeah, that's it. And I really like to, play hockey. And I really love it. It gives me a lot of energy. Yeah. So cool.
Ice hockey.
Yeah, ice hockey.
Oh my gosh.
We've been, it's 2 years that we have an ice rink in Iran, which is not cool. It's just 2 years. But we're doing our best. Our international team is going to, work really hard. And recently they had a cousin cup in Russia. They had won second place, and that gives me the energy I can do something, it's really cool. I really like it.
That sounds so interesting. I wouldn't have known about, the hockey connections in Iran. And I feel like that's part of what we're going to explore with you, is because I am, what comes down to it, oblivious about what life in general looks like Tehran, and also what, a normal home life looks like in Tehran as well. So I'm excited to hear more about that. Mm-hmm. One last question before we jump into some of my questions that are very home specific.
Okay.
What do you do freelancing as? Is it as a translator?
Yeah, kind of translating from English to French to Persian, and that's good. But I'm trying to expand it. I'm trying to work on that more because I have learned French in university. Mm-hmm. So I think I have to work on that more because I really love learning languages, a lot of languages that I like to learn. So I think the best way is to use it as speaking or writing it or turning it to another language. It's so exciting.
Oh, how exciting. Great. And are you born and raised in Tehran?
Yeah,
Yeah, there all your life,
yeah,
and
exactly.
that sounds interesting. So, you know, as a person who is, as I said, new to what is life like in Tehran, what was your
Yeah.
experience like growing up there?
Well, it's comparing it to other places is a little bit strange, but I'm really glad that I grew up in here because people in Tehran and people in Iran, in the whole country, they're really hospitable. They're really good to other people. They always try to do good and try to be, especially with tourists. I mean, if you come here, they will like, okay, we can stay to your house. And I mean, they're really cool people.
Wow.
And, but comparing it to other things, I mean, the thing is, actually, I have, turned on my VPN because I didn't know that this app is filtered or not. You know, almost everything is filtered and you're like, okay, should I turn it on? Should I turn it off? What should I do?
Yeah.
And these kind of things. Yeah. And, the price of the dollar here is like really high. I mean, if you turn something to that real price, you're like, oh my God, this was so bad. But, you can do things to make your life better, having like salaries in dollar, except for Toman, which is the price here. We can do a lot of things.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. You know,
Yeah.
it strikes me the a layer that I don't experience, but I thought was interesting is like the kind of internet information access and like needing
Yeah,
to
I
turn on the
know.
VPN and stuff, and something
Yeah,
I wouldn't have
exactly.
known about. You know? Yeah.
No, I mean, this is actually something that some people, which is natural, they don't understand. They're like, what's going on? I think the ones that have experienced it are Chinese something. Yeah, maybe Chinese. Because I had a friend
Uh,
from Hong Kong. She was from Hong Kong, but she knew exactly that she needed a VPN. And she said, yeah, we use it sometimes. And I was like, okay, so you're not completely a stranger to this. And she actually, before she came to my house, she downloaded a lot of VPNs. But some people were like, yeah, what is going on? And I had another friend from Switzerland. And so she came here. She wanted to check the Facebook page. And she was like, okay, it's not refreshing. And I said, do you know what VPN is? She was like, no, I have no idea.
hmm.
And that's, yeah, I had to explain to her, like, yeah, this is filter. And I was, what? Why?
How interesting. Yeah, yeah. Gosh, one of my thoughts about home life is that home is a place for us to learn and have access to information and all of that kind of thing. And it sounds like
Mhm.
that's one factor for your experience of
Yeah,
home
exactly.
in Tehran that like you need to find the way, kind of go through some
Yeah.
extra steps or something like that
But,
to learn these things.
I think from one side is bad, but from the other side, you get more creative. I mean,
Sure.
you just learn and you just do, new stuff. You just try to find a new way.
Hmm.
And exactly. Like even some applications, we can't pay for them like in dollars because we don't have MasterCard or PayPal. Even PayPal, if we do have PayPal, and if they know, I mean, the whole company knows that we're from Iran, from your IP, they will block the whole account. I mean, all of the money you have is gone just like that. And
Interesting.
you have to be careful. And there are actually companies here that can uh, buy you the stuff you want from Amazon, from everywhere you like, or even applications. Yeah, we kind of have invented those services.
Yeah,
And
these kind of ways around. It sounds like very
yeah, I
important to
mean,
find and know.
nothing is possible here. It's a matter of price, actually. Sometimes they're high, sometimes they're good, but almost everything is available. I don't know why they have filtered everything, but we're going to find our way.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Wow. Well, we can get back more into that in a little bit, but first, I would love, one thing that
Okay.
I'm asking every person I'm interviewing is for, like walk us through what your home is like. So let's say you're coming home and like you enter and who's there? What's the space looking like? What are the sights and sounds and smells in your home? Would you tell us about it?
Yeah, exactly. I live with my mom and I have like a little kitten. Uh, uh, when I enter the house, I mean, it's usually the time that my mom is cooking, so it smells pretty good because I love it when my mom cooks. And it's a good feeling that you're entering the house and you know that someone is waiting for you there. So that's the smell and the thing. And always say a big hello, like, hello, I'm home. And mom says hi back. And I just look after my kitten. I'm like, where are you, little kitty? And, kittens, they just go away. It just looks like, okay, what are you doing here? But,
They're not
yeah,
exactly wagging their tail with excitement to see you.
yeah, but I actually love her a lot. Her name is Happy. Uh, that's it. That's a really good feeling.
That's great. You mentioned your mom's cooking. What are the smells that come to mind? Like what kinds of herbs and spices, or I'd love for us to almost kind of be able to imagine what being in your house is like.
Yeah. And I think it's a good experience for all people to try Iranian cooking. I mean, from all the countries, Iran is some of the places that have great cooks and, great meals. And everyone is like, oh my God, it's so exciting. This is so special. And my mom usually make rice with something. People here eat a lot of rice. We really like it here. So, no matter what it is, but it should be rice in it.
Okay, great. Yeah. So there's going to be rice. There's going to be some sort of sauces on the rice, or all of that, and
Yeah, exactly.
flavorful cooking. I need to try some Iranian food. I don't know if I've ever
Hmm.
actually tried any. So
You can try grilled meat or
grilled meat.
yeah, or chicken next to some, I don't know, tomatoes, paprikas next to the rice. It's gonna be delicious.
Okay, lots of
And
paprika. Okay.
what we use here is actually we put onions in the oil and like makes it a little oily and tasty.
Hmm. That sounds so good.
Yeah.
I'm a Mexican, half Mexican American, and so some of
Yeah.
that sounds like some of the ingredients we'll use too. Less paprika, but that's how
Yeah.
exciting. Um,
Great.
okay, so now just moving forward with some other questions. You know, with your home being what it is, you're living with your mom and your kitten, and have these lovely scents in the air and all of that. Um, how do you see kind of yourself uh, growing in that environment? What's the link between your own personal growth, for example, um, and living there?
I don't know. I think my room is a place that I really like to be in the house, sometimes because of, the library that I have in my room. That it feels like I kind of have access to everything I really like because I really love books and I do read, I think, a lot. So I think my room is great and it's really comfortable and I made it comfortable for myself. Uh, all of the stuff in my room. I mean, for example, my bed was just so high and I didn't like it. So I just put the mattress on the ground, which is really comfy for me.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's how I like it.
Probably extra easy for your kitten to climb on as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, she just
Okay.
climbs everywhere.
You mentioned just like your room. Um, do you share your room? Are you living in your room alone, or what does that look like?
We have two bedrooms, one for my mom and one for me. We have
Okay,
both
so
separate rooms.
okay, cool. And then you have your library in your room as well. Said, and
Yeah,
it's like a place for you to
exactly.
kind of let yourself think and engage new ideas. Are there any types of books that feel particularly helpful or nourishing for you to read?
Well, it depends on the time. Before I was reading a lot of like Russian literature. I really loved that from Tolstoy. And it was really good that time. I mean, I didn't really have that time to review all of these books because they're a lot, but I really liked it. And it just, at that time, it helped me a lot through life, through finding my way and what to do and something like that. It gives me, a good feeling. And now I mostly think the books that help me to, about uh, my life at this moment. I don't know how to say this. They're kind of not just stories and other things like that. The books that try to help you find about your future, and give you the most solutions that you need. These kind of things.
Yeah. So you as a freelancer, perhaps it might be some things that will help you understand what direction to head professionally. Is that an example of the kind of thing you're thinking about, or thinking about the future? Books that help you think about the future. What's an example of one of those books?
Lots of mixture. I mean, sometimes books help you. Sometimes searching helps a lot. I search a lot on the internet, and I see reviews of other people to say what they have done. Recently I have actually, it's great. Recently I have bought Andrew Tate's courses. I don't know if you know him, but
Yeah, I
his
definitely heard the name.
I mean, his life was so exciting to me. He just, he said that he's got rich in like 4 years, and I was like, okay, the life is a matrix, and if you get out of it, and these kind of things just got really excited to me. And that's exactly why I changed my job, because before I was like, okay, I have to work, I have to earn money and all of that. But then I just stopped and for a moment, and I thought that I have to, enjoy my life more, do the things that gives me the energy, because we only live once. So that was a good
That sounds
point.
like some really important inspiration for you then, to have
Yeah.
people like Andrew Tate or others who you've read, Tolstoy or whoever it might be, to kind of help, spark imagination.
Yeah.
And
I mean, sometimes just a sentence can show you the way and show you what you want. I mean, I just thought about it for a moment, and I was like, oh my God, what I'm doing in this job, I don't like it. So I have to enjoy my life. And that's just what I did. And I just quit like 2 days after. And I was like, goodbye. And they were like, okay, you found a better place. And I was like, no, I'm just going to enjoy my life.
I love that. Look, I feel like that is such an important thing to do for like a sense of life being a place of growth and connection and
Yeah,
contribution,
exactly.
as is the goal of this. When you quit your job, how did that affect your home?
Actually, I didn't tell my mommy because she's really worried. I mean, she's
You
worried
didn't
all
tell
the
her?
time. No, because I mean, mostly people don't get you exactly. I mean, um, especially in here, they're like, okay, the financial situation is not so good where you quit your job, and I think mostly people don't try to enjoy their life. I mean, sometimes that back then when I was working, some days I didn't go to work just to go jogging, to be under the sun and just get some fresh air. And it was just so strange to my coworkers. It was like, what? You didn't come here to like jogging? And I was like, yeah.
Hmm.
So as my mom really worried, I didn't tell her. I said that I'm doing, I'm doing my job through my laptop. So
I see. That's interesting. I think
I
you're
had to
getting
do
at
that. She's really worried.
sure. I think you're getting at something that's very true for all of us. That like
Yeah,
the decisions we make affect the people that we live with, right? And
yeah,
um,
exactly.
and sometimes in your case, you're like, okay, I actually don't want to let her know that I made this decision because of how it will affect her, right? Would you tell
Yeah,
me more
exactly.
about your relationship with your mom and what it's like to live with her?
Actually, it's sort of a bit strange. Sometimes it's really good, but sometimes it's just like, you just like to be alone like everyone else. And here, affording to get a home. It's really hard here. It's not
Mm.
that easy as in other places like America because I see that some, I saw in your movies that, people go into college and they just live all alone. But
Mm.
here is a bit harder, um, because prices are so high, you can just go and, buy a house. Some people can't do that. So that's, actually, many other people like me who live with their parents or their moms and dads. And sometimes it's good because you know that someone's there taking care of you and you can take care of them and you can communicate with someone in the house.
Yeah.
And the thing that I said that I enter the house and I know my mom's there, it's a good feeling. The times that you're sick, someone is taking care of you, or she was, back then she was really sick and me and my aunts were there for her. But sometimes you just want to be alone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and even someone offering you for a tea, like, don't you want to like drink tea? And it's like, no, like, why? I just, I did this for you. And it's like, thank you, mom, but I don't like it. Sometimes these simple things just, strange. And that's it.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I What you're describing feels so like universal to me in some ways. Like,
Okay, so it's
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it feels just like very human, right? That we have some moments that are great, some moments that are strained with the people
I
we're
thought
with.
it was Korean moms, so it's universal. It's good.
Oh, really? Okay. Persian moms. Say more about that for me, please. Like, what's like a
Yeah,
Persian
Persian
mom
mom.
like?
Uh, this is funny. We have, um, if you have freedom in your life, it's like for some families, not all of them, but some families, you have to earn it. Like, I have some friends, like I'm 27. I have some friends that their mom or dad or their parents, whoever there is, they do not allow them to travel alone. They do not allow them to, stay outside, for the night. And I was like, what? And what is like that? And the thing is, my mom was like that, but I changed it myself. And I was like, okay, I'm going up. I like to do this and that. And that's it. That's how my life is going to be. And she was like, okay, fine. And, you kind of like to earn this like kind of freedom because some people are, really hard on children and
Hmm.
really do's and don'ts that they have. That's it. This
Mm-hmm.
is actually really strange.
I see. Yeah, you. That's a striking difference in generations between your mom's experience
Exactly.
growing up and
Yeah.
your own, right? Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you're a person who's leaning into your freedom and going out more often, and in some ways, like you're not stuck at home. You're not like whatever, right? Or needing to be supervised or whatever that looks like.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um, and your mom, it sounds like that was more of what she came up. And what do you think are like I don't know, like the costs and benefits of each way of doing life? Was that helpful for her? Was that harmful for her? What do you think?
For her or for me?
Really for both, but let's focus on her.
Well, I don't know. I think if you force something to someone, it's not gonna work. You
Hmm.
know, it's never gonna work. It's exactly like the situation you were on with filtering. As I said, we do everything and we do have everything. Even I know alcohol is not allowed here, but we do have some bars. We
Hmm.
do have them like under the
Yeah.
ground or some like cafes that they have bars. But if you force something, it's not gonna work. So
Hmm.
I think if you have a child, if one day I have a child, I wouldn't force these things. I just, I think it's better to explain the situation, for the person and let them just, just try their way.
That makes sense. So
Yeah.
in one sense, I you know what I'm running into is kind of like different, maybe cultural ideas of what home looks
Yeah.
like. Um, and my bias as an American is like, home is like a great place to be. It's a refuge. It's like a wonderful place to pass the time and be cozy and comfy and
Yeah, exactly.
connect with people and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, where I like to work from home, all of these kinds of things. And
Mm-hmm.
but what's missing, and you might agree with all of that stuff too from your
Yeah,
perspective,
exactly.
but what's maybe a unique add from your cultural angle is home was also like a place where people were kind of like, I don't know, stuck, like
Yeah, exactly.
for
It's a great place to eat more food, and sometimes it's the worst place to stay. And
mm,
I mean, these sides are too different, but and the thing is, if you have to choose between them, the person
mm,
you have to make that place to be a safer place, a better place. I mean, now when I compare to myself for like 5 or 6 years ago, I did not have this freedom, but now it's a more comfortable place for myself. That's why I
mm,
really like to work from home now. It's really comfy and I really like it. But back then I was like, oh my God, I just want to leave the house. And sometimes even after the work, I would go out with my friends because I really didn't want to return to house.
mhm.
But now it's great. Now it's really good, you
Yeah.
know? Because I
Y-
know that I can do like what I want. I can go out, get back, go travel, do anything without someone saying that, don't do that or do this. So that's good.
that's cool. You
Mm.
mentioned that you had to decide,
Yeah,
basically, like
exactly.
how you approached your home and what you thought of it, and how you got out and so on. What
Mm.
were some of the decisions you were making?
It's not like, not a lot of decisions, just one to imply to your mom that, you have your own choice for your life.
Hmm.
That's it. And just, tell them that you only live once. I mean, I really like that quotation. I don't know from who it is, but it really is true. I don't say that everyone just does kind of crazy or dangerous stuff, but, you don't have a way back, but, you can do stuff and many people just make don't like your decisions, but you're gonna do what you like to do. You know, that's
Yeah.
how it's gonna be. So sometimes, for example, as an example, like my mom didn't really like cats, so I got a tattoo, and I was like, "Here it is," and she was like, "What? Why didn't you tell me?" And it was like, "That's my body, my choice. I liked it," and she was like, "No, I don't like it." And then I did one another and another. And I have 4 or 5 like now. And she's like, don't do more. And I was like, okay, fine. But maybe one day I'll get back with another. But, it's not that harsh at the first time she was, you know?
Yeah. And in your circumstance, living with your mother, who is from a very different generation perspective on, you know,
Exactly.
what's right
Like a
or
lot.
proper or something like that, right? For
Yeah.
you
And,
to,
her family was actually religious. So, some of the things that our generation do is like banned for them. You're like, oh my God, what? Does people do that? And,
yeah,
they actually don't know. They actually don't know. It's not that they just want to, ban the kids. They're like, oh my God, do people really do that? And I was like, yeah, we do these days. And I was like, that's strange. Even my aunts like that. They were like,
yeah.
that's strange. Like, you're not dressed like that? It's like, yeah. It's like, how do people just do that? And it's like, yeah, they do that.
Hmm.
And it's it.
I want
Sometimes
to,
it's strange for
I
them.
want to learn so much more about that because I know Iran is a place that is so marked by religion, right? And
Yeah,
in a way that's,
unfortunately.
you say, unfortunately, sorry.
Yeah, I said unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me more about like, the role that religion, spirituality, those kinds of things have played in expectations around people, and I'm especially interested from the angle of like people's homes and the way they're supposed to be at home. But
Yeah,
yeah, would you tell me more about that?
I think, the biggest problem here is, the rules that we have here. I mean, some of the things, like, hijab, you know what it is? Or,
Oh yeah, the
yeah, no.
covering.
Yeah, the covering, I mean, it's basically illegal to just go out with a covering, but I do that these days. I mean, I just like to do that, and I don't care. And some of people of our generation just go out with every outfit they like. But like someone like my mom or my aunt, they're like, "Oh my God, they're gonna take you." I'm like, I don't care. They're not gonna do that. How many people are they gonna take? And they're like, "Oh my God, it's dangerous," and they think it's just so like But we just do that. And the worst thing is our
Would you help me
government.
understand real quick? Okay, just because I'm learning things constantly as you're
Yeah,
talking, and
I
I
know.
love it. This is exactly the goal of this
Sorry,
whole
I think
show.
I just talked too fast.
No, you're
Um,
fantastic. You're doing great.
Thank
But
you.
I do want to follow up. So a hijab is, am I right in that it's like kind of the
Okay,
covering?
let me explain.
Yes,
The
thank you.
thing is, our government is like Islamic government, which is actually like strange. I mean, we don't know if it's really Islamic or whatever it is.
Hmm.
But they brought a personal concept to the whole country, which is well, not acceptable, but by other people. I mean, for myself, I don't think that people need religion, for example. But my friend thinks that she likes to be, she likes to follow Islam. And when you do that, when you force all the people to just follow one thing, it's not going to work. So, like, basically, many things are illegal here, but people do that, like hijab, which is the covering, and alcohol or some things that are banned in Islam, but people just do that. And the bad thing is, when the government is, have the right, in their opinion, to force these things, some of the families that are also religious think that, okay, so when the government says it's okay, so we can do that to our own family. So anything that, for example, someone like me, if I say like, okay, mom, I want to do alcohol, and she was like, no, it's like, it's bad, it's bad. And she thinks that because the government's saying, so she has the right also to do that,
Hmm.
and that's really bad. That actually gives, the power to people that are really religious to be worse to their, people around. And
Hmm.
it's not cool.
I see. Okay, so because there's certain, strong, religious standards
Yeah.
around,
Yeah.
a number of things, that ends up getting enforced in the home too,
Yeah.
by parents, by
Sometimes.
families, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sometimes.
And so then you, as as the daughter of your mother, right? Like you're asserting yourself and saying, like, "Hey, I'm not going to go that direction. I'm going to go my own way," basically.
Yeah. And you just, you have to fight a little bit at first, but it gets better and better, you know?
Hmm.
And when you try to, I mean, some people do not have any information about other countries.
Right.
They don't know what having fun is. They have no idea. I mean, for example, I was talking to someone really religious, and I said like, okay, if one day it's okay for us here, I would like to go to the beach with my own bikini. I don't like to, you know, search for a safe place. There's just no one around. I just like to go get tanned. And she was like, get tanned? Why do you do that? I said, it's fun. Many people does that. And she was like, what, what's the point of getting tanned? What's the
Hmm.
point of doing this and that? And they have no idea. Or like music festivals, we do not have music festivals here. And many of my friends just traveled to Dubai or Turkey for just a simple music festival for us, which is crazy.
Hmm.
And some people have no idea about this. I mean, When you say the phrase music festival, they're like, okay, what is that? So you just play a song, and it's like, yeah, it's this and that. And it was like, well, that seems fun. And when they
Sure.
think more about it, they know that even they like it, you know? Um, there's a quotation from someone that I really don't remember, but it said that you don't know what you don't know. So when you don't know anything, you don't have any information about something, you don't know if you like it or not.
Hmm.
So when you sometimes show these religious people some things that they're against their will or against their religion, they're like, okay, that should be fine. Maybe I should try this. And sometimes they change direction. Like for example, my mom, she was not, she was actually really religious back then, but now she's just updated herself. Not exactly like me, but to know how to react to what I do and how's the stuff going in our generation. So that's a little bit better.
Wow. I feel like there could be so many conversations just like hearing more and more.
Yeah,
I'm so interested.
I know.
Maybe we'll just have other conversations, not necessarily on the podcast, because I'd love to stay connected. But
Yeah,
I want
I'd
to keep
love
moving this.
to.
Yeah, I want to keep moving this along through these questions, though, too. So, um, you know, really zooming in on home. I know sometimes home life can really go sideways for people. It's just like, oh gosh, like this is not working. I wish this was different. What do you think are some of those things that really, cause your home to feel like, oh, this is not working?
I don't know. I think I just I've just talked about it. The problems that you have for me from my side, living with someone else might be like a challenge for me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just simple things you want to do, like real simple. Like I don't know, you like to watch TV, uh, your mom doesn't like to, or something like that. Some simple things that go on your nerve. They're like, oh my god, why don't I live alone? Uh, Things like that. Or my mom likes to, watch Instagram videos and really, really high volume, and I'm like not interested in that. And it's actually really common in Persian moms. Persian moms always have high volume in the phones.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, can you just turn on the audio? And she's like, what? I don't hear you.
Can't even hear you.
Yeah.
What an interesting, like stereotype of Persian moms. I would have had no clue. Okay, so
No,
part of
they
it is,
have it. You can even search it. I think there are a lot of videos that you can find in Google from, um, there are a lot of people that have immigrated from here. It's really common, like really, really common. It's
Mhm.
that common that when, for example, someone sees you, they say like, okay, where's your plan for going? I mean, it's actually a question here.
I see.
And there are a lot of people, I think, in Canada or in America, they do some funny videos about Persian moms. And if you really search, then you can find something. And a comedian named Max Amini, if you know him,
Oh,
you can search about him. He's a
okay.
comedian and he does a lot of stand-ups comedies. And he actually had, one topic about Persian moms. It was really funny.
That sounds so fun. We'll have to take a look at that. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
okay. So this has been a wonderful conversation, Melika. Thank you so much for,
Thank you.
helping us, explore the topic of home life and what it looks like from your angle as a person living in Tehran. Um, Final thought, because I think one thing that I find interesting about people's homes is what are their prized possessions, the things that they have in their home, like physical objects or something like that, that they really love. What's one of your prized possessions?
That's have to be something included the house or what kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe stuff in your home in particular right now. Um, yeah, I'm sure there's probably plenty of other things outside of the house, but for the sake of this research, inside your home.
Hmm. I think the most thing that I really like in the house are our plants.
Hmm.
We have some plants near the window, which I really like. I mean, I have a lot of problems with my kitten because she likes to jump in there, but the whole thing, having those plants and knowing that something is like growing in your home, like here, and
Hmm.
that's kind of great feeling. This is what I really like about the house, and it's right next to the window.
That's a great idea to have plants and see them growing and knowing that you are also growing, as if they're like a symbolic reminder to you that that's what
Oh
your
yeah,
home is for.
exactly.
I love
And
it.
taking care of them. That's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Melika, thank you so much for your time. And as we're wrapping up, a few final words. If you want to connect with Melika, she can let you know what are some places that people could connect with you if they want to reach out and know more about you.
I think it would be Instagram. I
Instagram.
don't use any other applications. It's just WhatsApp and Instagram. That's
Okay,
it.
great. Well, we'll make sure to include a link to your Instagram account in a little profile write up that I'll post on the blog.
Thank
And
you.
that way people can connect if they want to follow up, hire you as a freelancer, or, anything like that, if they just want to keep this conversation going. Thank you
Yeah,
again for your
exactly.
time. And
Thanks for having me.
absolutely. So this has been Home Life for Extraordinary Impact, where we had a great conversation exploring what designing your home life for growth, connection, and contribution can look like. I'm going to be doing a more like in-depth analysis. I'm a researcher. So what I do is I take these sort of interviews and then I splice them up. I look for themes and patterns across lots and lots of interviews. And I'm going to do some in-depth analysis of some of this and a write-up on some of the things that I think were most, intriguing or unique or something about what Melika mentioned. You can find that at homelifedesignlabs.com. I hope you sign up for the newsletter and you'll get messages in your inbox every week. And along the way, you can also support this effort as I am moving towards writing this book and helping, as many people as I can design a home life that they love. So thank you everyone for listening, and please join us next time.